We're live back with none other than Tyler Rains. This is part 2 of the podcast. See, I was just telling Tyler that we never had a part 2 on the podcast. He is a special guest. Why? Well, special to my heart, to the Hands Up community. You can't. I don't think I found any other Hands Up artists in America back then on MySpace. Did you find any American Hands Up artists on MySpace back then?
No, I don't think I did as much as I looked. I don't think I ever.
Wow. And I mean, it's very difficult to look when there's no thing like hashtags. Did they
Right.
even have hashtags back then?
I don't think so. I don't think so in the MySpace days. At least, yeah, I don't think they did.
Tyler, you identify as an EDM pop artist. Is that like the best thing to kind of like you push?
Yeah,
Today's music that you make, is it you say it's EDM pop?
yeah, I think that's always really hard for me to try to choose a genre, just because I'm constantly experimenting with so many things. But I think, I mean, EDM's a pretty broad um, genre, which I think is why I would say that it kind of describes my music because I'm definitely I'm pulling in a lot of influences from all kinds of different electronic genres, a lot of dance genres. Um, but I think I also blend some more pop derived sounds as well. Um, and lately, I'm actually really inspired by a lot of future garage. Um,
Oh, what is
yeah, I feel
that?
like
What is Future Garage, by the way?
it's very. I asked myself the same thing because I was hearing a lot of these a lot slower, very dark and kind of moody type sounds. Um, and I never knew what it was. And then I actually messaged one of my favorite artists making that kind of music at the time, and he responded to me and he was like, "Yeah, Future Garage is probably the
Do any
main
of
genre."
these resonate with you? Bilk, Volor, Flex, Felon, Inhale. These are supposedly Future Garage
Yeah, yeah,
2022 on
yeah, a few of those.
Spotify. Well, I'm gonna have to listen to that because Future Garage is where I guess where it's at. And I say this only, Tyler, because everything is a market, and if you can latch into a certain market and make it a name, doesn't matter what it
Right.
is. Hands Up, Future Garage. We here at Hands Up now rep all the EDM genres, not just Hands Up. We only
Mhm.
name it Hands Up because we are all have the originators of Hands Up now. People like
Mhm.
Tyler and me have that one thing in common, but that doesn't mean we only make Hands Up. We make anything. So that I would take a look at it. I would take a look at Future Garage and let you know what I think.
It's definitely very it evokes a lot of emotions, I think.
Hey Tyler, I know you got featured on Cap Records, but do you have any other goals, ambitions as far as if you go back memory lane 20, 12 years ago, 13 years ago as a hands up artist? What
Mhm.
what are some of your goals as a hands up artist if you were to get to a level of Cascada and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that just my love for that music and being able to share it with people and be in big places like that, like I was in Seattle, just sharing those happy, positive vibes with people, that was really, I think,
Yeah.
the what
That's
I
the
saw
American
from it.
side. Have you ever had any ambitions breaking into Europe, the European dance market?
Yeah, absolutely, because I mean, that's all the artists that I was listening to were obviously European artists. So
Right.
that was, yeah, the idea of being able to break into Europe also is very, very big for me too.
So the reason I say that is because I'm asking these questions because I'm getting to something very hot, and I'm cooking this idea where Tyler, whether if it's you sing or maybe you make a remix of a top liner artist we're working with. We always work with top liner artists, the label. Top liner, not non top liner, whatever. We work with it, we remix it, we release it. That's the motto at Sandy Beach Records. But the thing is, mentioning is because we had a goal in 2020. I didn't know this was gonna happen until it happened. One of the to the Friday, uh, was it evening or afternoon? I think it was eve. It was afternoon DJs at Technobase.fm. Are you familiar with Technobase?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
the
Yeah.
biggest hands up label in the world, and it's on XM radio and all that stuff. By the way, I found about them through Winamp. Did you ever have Winamp?
I do remember the Winamp
Oh,
days.
Winamp. Then all these funny, cool skins for Winamp was pretty cool too. Those
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, badass. But the reason I say that is because we had a go in 2020. It's been 10 years since Technobase has been out, and they're about to reach their 30th compilation volume.
Wow.
So I met one of the DJs there, and we set up a goal. You make a remix. So he made a remix with one of the artists we're working with at the label here, and he got featured on Volume 30. What do you know?
Wow.
What do you know? My goodness, you should have seen how stoked I was back 2020. It was or 2021. I can't remember. COVID kind of like passed and just like I forgot about the name of the month we're on or whatever. But anyways, so we got featured, and then I got featured again. We got featured again. And then, so what I'm saying is, Tyler, let's work together because Technobase is still a thing, and it's still out there, and it's making sales. It's hitting the three main markets: Germany, Austria, Switzerland. By the way, I've been to Austria many times because I used to always fly to Europe. I stopped going to Europe like in 2012. I've had bad experience. The last time I had it was in Germany and Eastern Europe, and I had a very bad experience. But
Oh, wow.
Tyler, do you still have more time to stick around with us? Because this is part 2 of the podcast, and I love doing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Love to-
much. You have no idea. I know I'm on my second glass of wine, as they say in the Bible. You know, like no more than 2 glasses of wine. But you know,
I've got my White Claw here. So
what is White Claw? Is that an energy drink?
it's a just let's see what does it call itself? A spiked sparkling water.
That's good.
So,
My
yeah.
father is a big fan of sparkling water. I don't know why. What is the sparkling water more rich than normal water, or what is it? Well, sparkling
Yeah, I
water.
guess I think usually they've got minerals or whatever, and then
Oh, well,
yeah.
you know, earlier today in the previous podcast, I had coffee, so I did like a shout out to Napolitanke, which is this Croatian chocolate waffles. They're not sponsoring this podcast, but we're just putting the name only because they're so good. Hey, Tyler, if you ever go to an international market and you pick them up, let me know because they're so good. You're gonna love them if you love chocolate waffles. The
Yeah.
best.
Sure.
This is better than Snickers and whatever is out there. Kit Kat. This is like Kit Kat and like some. It tastes like a Kit Kat, by the way. So if you like Kit Kat, check it out. Anyways, where were we? Whew. Tyler, this I'm telling you, like, this is the kind of podcast that deserves a second part because I've known Tyler for such a long time. It's not like the previous guests where I met them recently and I kind of have one kind of like, you know, gatekeeper type of introduction to them. But somebody like Tyler, I was trying to break into Hands Up, and Tyler helped me out a lot. And back in 2008 and 9, you were a very good graphic designer. I had one logo for Solid Shark that had like a font of a shark. And you took that and my picture and you made a very nice wallpaper of me. You were like the first person to make a wallpaper of me. And they felt so good because back then we were all trying to like peacock and make ourselves a name and stuff like that. I don't know if you knew this, Tyler, but I had the biggest Hands Up promotional channel on MySpace. I'll tell you after the podcast what was the name of it and stuff like that. But people thought that I was the original name behind it, and they had no idea that was just some guy in America, a random kid like 14, 15 years old, making a MySpace account for a compilation and a Hands Up promotional in Europe. They had no idea. Little did I not know. So the funny thing, you remember those top friends? You have to have top friends.
Yeah.
They will
Yeah.
always put me on the top friends only because they thought I was the main owner behind. You have no idea.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I did them justice. I had like 40,000 plays at least on all these different tracks. If
Wow.
only they had the algorithm they did today in Spotify where they get credit for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Tyler helped me out a lot. You know, you helped me with doing remixes, and this is one thing we do here. We want to make sure I give you the most value you can as an EDM artist. Now that you're back, old school, new school. You're back within our community. Now joined the Discord server. How much do you know about Discord? Do you ever use Discord? Because I'm telling you, we're on steroids as far as Discord goes. I mean, we are trying to like really like get out there, you know?
Yeah, I think I have a lot to learn because I mean I had it installed on my computer because I think there are a couple other times that for whatever reason it was there's something happening on Discord, but then it would kind of just get buried in my computer and I wouldn't ever use it. But
Yeah.
I yeah, being here in this on Discord now, it
Mm-hmm.
looks like there's a lot going on. There's a lot
And by the way,
to
Tyler, don't feel shy to or anything just to give feedback to people. The thing is, they all need feedback, especially the young producers. They don't know what they're doing, and if they know what they're doing, maybe they need something more push to. And just like you help me, we all help each other here. This is part of the
yeah,
thing on Discord server.
love that.
Um, so going back to the techno bass idea, so say Tyler, you sing a song, we like it, or any song you want to recycle from back in the day, only because. All right, the Generation song. Remember the what's it
Harder,
called? Hardcore Generation. Is that it?
harder generation.
Harder Generation. Only because I had 2 glasses of wine. No, don't bury me, Tyler, for not getting the song right.
That's
I'm
okay.
telling you, I used to have an MP3 player, a SanDisk, and I would listen to my headphones, and I will play your song. And my MP3 player got stolen in high school. I was so mad. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Your music was on there, our pictures were on there, and I'm like, oh my god, some asshole decided to steal my MP3 player. I went berserk. I went, I went kind of like not investigating, not interrogating, kind of like interrogating my classmates in my chemistry class. I'm like, I know one of you took it. One
Yeah.
of you took. Oh my god, you should have seen me, God. Tyler, if only you were in my high school class, only because you and me both grew up in America and stuff like that. And my god. My God. Hey, Tyler, you're in Arizona. My first girlfriend was from Arizona, and
Oh really?
she gave me psychological, mental problems, like because she cheated on me and left me. And so, hey, by the way, it's all good because now it's like it's long time, by the way, and I learned to be, this man and take things it is. But when she left me, like she was from Arizona. The one thing I only remember about every time anybody mentioned Arizona was like her face. Today it's not really the case. Today I'm like I think about other things like the economy and the business and other
Yeah.
things like that. It's not like, but my God, like I told my chemistry teacher there was one girl in my chemistry class, it was biology class that reminded me of her because she looked like her. Because all that makeup she put, my goodness, Tyler. Uh, and I'm like, chemistry teacher, can you put me in a different class? Or biology teacher, can you put me in a different class only because she reminds me of my ex and I'm having a mental. See, I don't think teachers back then knew about these kind of things like 12 years ago. There's a lot of mental disorders happening around. And if I have a phobia going to class only because she reminds me of my ex, it's kind of like seeing a witch or seeing the devil or something. Like, you know what I mean, Tyler? It's like you don't want to be there because she's giving you a hard time or so anyways, that's how I felt. So but anyways, Arizona is nice. I want to go there one of these days on a business trip, and I'll let you know if I ever come to Arizona. We'll do a in-person
Okay.
podcast, go to like Starbucks or something.
Yeah, for sure.
And by the way, so yeah, so how is Arizona treating you, and how's the transition, and are you getting the most out of it? Are there any like local events that you attend to, like community events and stuff like that?
Unfortunately, no.
Hmm.
Yeah, I kind of just tend to stick to my little workstation here in my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I definitely think that there'd be some benefits of me kind of reaching out to local events, but I think I've just been a bit of a hermit for the past couple years, just trying to get back in my music making groove. This is the first year that I've put out more than one song
Yeah.
um, in the same year.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. And it's not easy for people like you and me because we obviously work, and part of working also, we are
hmm,
also making music and stuff.
right, yeah.
Um. So this has been interesting. So what were the last? This is an interesting question. What were the last years like? The last decade, like the last 2010 until 2020. What was that like for you? Because I became dormant as of 2013. I gave up because I hit a rock bottom in the music industry. the story is I was gonna meet with this big label. We didn't meet, and then I decided to call it to call it a day. For go, what was the last decade for you? Like,
Um, definitely full of a lot of ups and downs
mm,
and a lot of change too.
yeah,
Uh, I think there were just so many different kinds of music that I was in love with and constantly feeling torn between what I should be making and what I should be experimenting with and learning and pushing myself to do. So, um, yeah, very kind of up and down as far as even my um, just wanting to, should I be making music at all?
yeah. Even that,
But
that is a very good question. I'm telling you, that. Check this out. There's a hardstyle guy. Okay, I'm not gonna name him, but he releases a song every day on Spotify. Okay, so his go-to strategy is, okay, I'm gonna make it as a name, but I'm gonna release a song. So he spends zero, like the fact that he has so many songs on Spotify. If he releases a song every day,
that's
uh,
awesome.
well,
That's
hang
really
on. Well, I don't know if that's all. The way I'm getting to is, I don't speak highly of him only because I think he's making a big crucial mistake, and the mistake is that he spends zero time on promotion and marketing. So he thinks that just because he's on Spotify, even if he breaks any algorithm on there with whatever Spotify is doing, is his strategy is poorly written. Like, I mean, that's the only. I'm only saying this only because I know this kid, and like, oh my god, like I've never heard. Like, he spends zero time promoting. Like, he has like 150 followers on Instagram, but yet he has so many songs on Spotify. Then
Mhm.
why? I mean, like, shouldn't he be spending more time on promoting, right? You know, that's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, I think there's definitely like I would consider myself probably the other extreme
Yeah.
opposite from him is I'm kind of the opposite. I put out one song and then I I promote it for 3 years before you ever hear another song from me. So
Mm,
I think you gotta kind of be somewhere in the middle. But I definitely admire that commitment, to being productive and putting something out every day. But I also agree with you is
well,
it's
I think
important to
it's counterproductive at this point because, I mean, what is the goal? I mean, what is the goal? I mean, just because you release a song, who's gonna listen to it? I mean, like, you disturb me every day, make an announcement. Sure, you make a song, but what's the statement? I think it beats the purpose of making music at that point. Because Tyler, you pour heart and soul and sweat making music, just like I do. So, like, I mean, you know what I mean, right? Like, it has to have like, it has to resonate with people. It has to like have a theme and all that stuff. And come on. Yeah. But yeah, I remember you were back in California back in the day and stuff like that, and hands up, what it was. So now that we are a hands up label, Tyler. So you can always be part of us. You're welcome anytime, and send us demos. There's a lot of artists on the Discord server. So if you ever want to like connect, all genres you can name of. Um, we have one artist we're working with closely. He moved to Los Angeles from Chicago. He's kind of like a triangle, you know. He likes Nashville, Tennessee. He lives there part of the sometimes. He lives in Chicago originally from, and now he's in Los Angeles. And he's been spending a lot of time with rock stars, like rock, like not like house music or anything. But he's a bass house DJ, and so we're doing a big release on the 15th. Only I wish you were part of it, Tyler, because boy, we had like 16 remixes for that thing, and hey, never say never, as Justin Bieber says, meaning we can always recycle that song, and we can always feature you if you want to remix it. So just let us know. The reason I say that to Tyler is because it's not just any song. The vocalist is one of the female vocalists in America for Avicii back in the day when Avicii was around. Rest in peace, Avicii. But she was one of the female singers in America for Avicii. So it is a top liner vocals, and from one of from one of my close peers. He said the vocal is really good. So I think if he says it's good, I trust him that you're gonna like it too. So
Yeah. Okay. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and I think if you want to remix it, go ahead. You're welcome to. Well, Tyler, I think this has been a blast. And anything you want to tell us that we haven't talked about here? Because it's been a long time, like over a decade, we haven't reconnected.
Yeah, I mean, this has been really awesome opportunity. Super happy to be here and get to catch up with you, and also really happy to be a part of this community now. Thank you so much for that. I'm
You're
really
welcome.
happy.
You're welcome. And where should people find you if they're looking for you? So we have obviously Spotify. Follow Tyler Rains on Spotify. What about SoundCloud? Are you on SoundCloud?
Yeah, I am on SoundCloud too. Sometimes
Perfect.
I forget SoundCloud, but I do love the SoundCloud. So I'm there too. SoundCloud, Spotify,
YouTube,
but
obviously. Yep.
yeah, YouTube. I try to be everywhere, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
some
Facebook. Yeah.
some are easier than others.
That's right. And this has been a pleasure, everyone. And thank you so much, Tyler, for doing these two parts. You've been very generous of your time. I typically don't do that with like going over the speed limit, but we're now listening to March of the Misfit. Is that correct?
Uh, yeah, that's from another 2020 release. So that was an EP.
It's an
Yeah,
EP,
Slow
and
Violin.
we're gonna leave this podcast to rest at March of the Misfit by Tyler Rains. There you have it, folks. Thank you so much, Tyler. It's been a blast.
Thank you.
You're the best. And now that you've joined the band and I mean the band, the Discord server, we're super super happy to have you and honored. So
Thank you.
I will
Very
follow
happy.
up with you just a second. So let me just close this out.